Alright, welcome back. In this course we're going to learn Bootstrap. So the first thing we need to do is set up our files. So I want you to click on the File Explorer using Window key E to open up the File Explorer. We're going to click on Local Disk, C, MAMP, htdocs. We're going to right click inside of there and we're going to create a new folder and call it bootstrap.com. Okay. We're going to go inside of here, we're going to right click, we're going to create a folder, call it CSS, create another one, we're going to call it JS, and create another one, we're going to call it image, img. Okay, so let's go back one. Actually, we're going to go back two directories. We're going to go to MAMP. We're going to right click on htdocs, click on send to desktop. Okay, close this. I have that open. Go to your desktop and you should see htdocs shortcut. Alright, so let's open this up now. We're going to go to project, add folder to project. Okay, I'm going to click on htdocs shortcut, bootstrap.com. We're going to select that. I'm going to hit Control N to create a new file. We're going to hit Control S to save, and we have to select the source of the project because it hasn't found the home of the project. So it thinks that you want to save it on the desktop. So we're going to click on htdocs shortcut, bootstrap.com, and now we're going to type in index.html. Alright, so now go to Google Chrome. So I'm going to click Start. I'm going to type in Google Chrome and hit Enter. And we're going to go to getbootstrap.com. Click on Get Started. Scroll down here, there's a quick start guide on how to get things rolling here. But we're going to grab the starter template. So hit copy, copy to clipboard. Okay, go back into Sublime Text. We're going to right click and we're going to paste this inside of our index.html. We're going to hit Control S to save. We're going to right click and open it in the browser. Let's try that one more time. Okay. Okay, that didn't work. Why not? Very weird. Okay, no problem. So minimize this, go into your browser, open a new tab up, type in localhost. Well, that would probably explain why. So we need to turn MAMP on. Okay, now click on bootstrap.com. Hello world. There you go. So the reason it wouldn't let me view the source when I did this was I didn't have MAMP running. And so now that I have MAMP running, it will let me do that. But it's a good thing to practice to not use this and open in browser, but to actually go to the browser and type in localhost and then just refresh the page whenever you're editing it. Okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to create a navigation bar here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to their layouts. Let's look at their themes real quick, just so we can test out. I want to test out the code, make sure everything's working. That's not the correct area. Let me see here. Bootstrap themes. Let's do categories. I think you got to pay for all these. Okay, so that's not what I wanted. Let's just go to. We'll close this tab. Close that tab. Go to examples. There you go. Alright, so let's grab this one right here, product, and we're going to right click, view source page, Control A, Control C, go into your page here, we're going to Control A, delete, paste that in, and now I want you to open in the browser, or go here and type in localhost. Okay, so it doesn't show it, and it shouldn't because we didn't do it correctly. But that's why I'm showing you this, because you can see how easy it is to break the code if we don't have the correct things in there. So Control S to save that. Let's go back in here. And what we're going to do is we're going to grab from the nav down to the footer. Control C or right click and copy. Go into Sublime. And wherever the body is right there, return a couple times and paste. Open in the browser. I know why that's not working. I'm going to fix that. Okay, so let's refresh this. And now we have the layout that they have here. So you can see it's a little bit different because we don't have this. So Bootstrap will give you a default style, but you need product.css in order to have this layout here. To have the layout that they have, you need to add your own CSS to it. And that's what they did. They built their own custom CSS for this layout here. Okay, so this is more just to get you started so you can see what it can do and how easy it is to create a site real quickly. And they have a whole bunch of these templates that are free, totally free. You can look at them, mess around with them. I strongly encourage you to do so. I mean, look, you see how they have different navigations. It's phenomenal. Never expand. That's kind of cool. They have a lot more stuff now than they did when I was first learning this. They've added a lot more, so it's a lot more robust, and that's good. So I highly encourage you to bookmark at bootstrap.com and utilize the tools that you see here. And what we're going to do in the next video is we're going to build out the navigation. All right, so I'll see you there. All right, welcome back. So in this video, we're going to build out the navigation, the footer, and we're also going to add the slideshow and one other feature to the homepage. All right, so let's get started on that. So in the previous video, we did all this hoopla and whatever. Let's just Control A, delete, Control S to save. I'm going to go back into Chrome, and I'm going to go to the I'm going to click on the little B here, or just go to getbootstrap.com. Click Get Started, and we're going to grab that starter template again. Okay, I'm going to copy that. We're going to go back into our file here. I'm going to paste this in again. And we're going to kind of space out stuff a little bit and get it ready for building the navigation. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to add custom CSS to this. So we're going to comment this out, custom CSS. Okay, and we're going to do link css/custom.css. Okay, so let's go into CSS, right click, new file, Control S to save. We're going to do custom.css. And we're going to type in a couple things here. Body, padding with padding top, 54 pixels. Okay? And then we're going to do at media min width 992 pixels. And let's do a body with padding top of 56 pixels. Okay. Then we're going to do a class of carousel dash item, and we're going to do height 65 VH, min height 300 pixels, background no repeat, center scroll. Now you're probably wondering, why are we putting all this stuff in here? Well, the reason we're doing this ahead of time is we're going to build out the menu, and we're going to build out the carousel and the footer, and one other element in this video. And so I'm just getting this prepped so when we get all that coded, it will function the way that it needs to. So let's do Moz background size cover. Okay, and then we're going to do O dash background dash size cover. Okay, and let's do background dash size cover. Okay, and then we got one more thing. So we're going to do dot portfolio dash item. We may or may not use this. I haven't decided yet on that. 30 pixels. Okay. So now let's go into the index, and we're going to delete hello world. Okay. If it'll let me. Let me see if it'll try again. There we go. So we're going to comment this out. Navigation. Okay, and we're going to do, so let's do start navigation, and then we'll do end navigation. So let's copy that and return twice, and then end navigation. So we'll hit Control and the left arrow to kind of tab around, and then I'm going to return twice and go to line 21 and tab N1, and we're going to do nav class navbar fixed, navbar fixed dash top, navbar dash expand dash large, navbar dash dark, background dash dark, fixed top. Okay, we'll close that. Okay, and now we're going to start the container. So let's open inside of here. Okay, let's do start container, and we're going to do a div with a class of container. Alright, and then we're going to do end container below it. So I want to return once. We're going to do end container. Okay, we'll keep that there. And now we're going to do start. Let's return and then do start. Actually, let's just do nav brand, because we're not going to end this. We're just going to do one line of commenting out. So let's do an anchor with a class of navbar dash brand, href index.html, and we're going to type in Bootstrap, and we're going to close that with an anchor tag. Okay, so we'll return, and we're going to return a couple more times here. And I'm going to go to line 29, and I'm going to comment this out again. We're going to do start button. I'm going to return twice, and we're going to do end button. Okay, now that that's done, we'll return a couple more times. We'll go to line 31, and we'll do button class navbar dash toggler, navbar dash toggler right. We're going to do a type button data toggle equals collapse data target equals ID navbar responsive. Okay, ARIA dash controls equals navbar responsive. Okay, ARIA dash expanded equals false. ARIA dash label equals toggle navigation. Okay, and we're going to do a span with a class of navbar toggler dash icon. Close that span, and we're going to do button to close it out. Okay, and then I'm going to hit delete once to bring up the, okay, I guess it didn't work. So go to line 34, go up and hit backspace to bring the comment up, and same with this. I'm going to hit delete, and that should squeeze it together so we know where they're combined. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to comment out start links. Okay, and then we're going to return, and we're going to end links. Okay, and we'll go in here and we'll return 2 more times, and I'm going to start with a div and a class of collapse. Okay, and we're going to space navbar collapse, and we're going to do an ID of navbar right here, navbar responsive. Okay, and then I'm going to close that, return, and I'm going to hit backspace to bring end links up. Okay, now we're going to do an unordered list. So we're going to do ul class navbar dash nav ml dash auto. Okay, we'll close that, and we're going to do an li with a class of nav dash item, and we're going to close that with an li, and we're going to do an anchor with a class of nav link and an href of index.html. And we're going to type in home here. We'll close that off, and we're going to copy this now. So we're going to do, before we copy that, I want to comment this out. We're going to do home, and we'll copy all of it. Whoop. There we go. So let's copy all of this. I'll return, and we're going to do, I'm going to give it one more space, and I'm going to give it a space up here too so it's easier to read. And this is going to be services. This is going to be services. So I'm going to copy that here, and I'm going to just put a lowercase s in there. We'll copy this again. I'll return twice, one more time. And I'm going to paste that in. We're going to do portfolio. Okay. We're going to do, okay, and let's do this. So I'll copy all this, and we're going to do about, copy that, paste it here, paste it there. We'll change this to a lowercase a, and we'll do the same with contact. Okay, we'll do contact. Whoop. I'm going to right click. Actually, I'm not going to right click. I'm going to go in the browser. I'm going to go to our localhost bootstrap.com. I'm going to refresh. And now you see Bootstrap, Home, Services, Portfolio, About, Contact. Okay? So I'm going to do it this way because I have this feature. When you right click and open in the browser, it's turned off because I have the program pointed to another program. So it opens up this program when I try to view it in the browser. So that's okay. All right, so we got that working. So now what I want to do is I want to start on the carousel. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to the bottom of our navigation. We're going to return twice, okay? And we're going to name this. We're going to do start slideshow. And then we're going to return a couple times. Let's return one more time. And we're going to do end slide show. Okay? So this is where we're going to put everything in for the slideshow. So we're going to do, and actually let's do start header instead of slideshow, because we're going to put a header tag in first, and then we'll do the other ones. Okay? So I'm going to bring this back up. I'm going to return once, and we're going to make a header tag, and I'm going to go just like that and have it kiss it. So that way when you make the next element, it'll be easier to do. So we're going to do start, and we'll call this carousel div. Okay, then we'll return twice, and we'll end the carousel div. All right, and now what we're going to do is we're going to create a div with a class of carousel, an ID, not a div. We're going to do a div with an ID of carousel example indicators. Okay. Yep, that's good. And then we're going to do a class of carousel slide, space slide. And we're going to do data ride. we're going to do an ordered list with a class of carousel indicators. Okay, and we'll do an ordered list. Oh, what the heck is it doing? There we go. Okay, we'll return that, and I'm going to do, we're going to do an li with a class, with no class, a data target, equal to the ID of carousel example indicators. Okay, we're going to do data slide -2 equals 0. Okay, we're going to have a class of active, and we're going to close the li. So I'm going to actually just click right here because for some reason this thing is going all over the place. So now we're going to do the same thing again. Data target equals carousel example indicators, okay, with a data slide 2 equals 0, or 1, I mean, sorry. And we're not going to do class equals active because that's only for the first slide. Okay, so we'll close that with an li, and then I'm going to copy this, and we're going to do it again. So we'll do it one more time, and we'll just change the 1 to 2. Okay, so we got that done. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start carousel inner. Okay, so let me return once here, and let's do start carousel inner. And then let's end that too. So let's end carousel inner. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to tab in here, and we'll do div class carousel dash inner with a role equal to list box. Okay, and then what we're going to do is let's return, and I'm going to, okay, let's put it right here. We're going to start first slide. Let me do start first slide. There we go. And then we're going to end the first slide. End first slide. Okay, and we're going to tab in here, and we're going to do a div with a class of carousel dash item space active. Okay, and we're going to do a style background dash image and a URL. It's going to be http://placehold.it/1900 by 1080. Okay, and let's close that div. Okay, and then we're going to do div class carousel dash caption d dash none d dash md dash block. We'll close that, and we're going to do an h3 with first slide. Okay, and then a paragraph tag. This is a description for the first slide. Okay? Alright, so that's the first slide is done. So now we're going to copy this, and we're going to call this second slide. So I'm going to copy that, I'm going to put it here, put it there. We're going to delete active. Okay? Everything else can stay the same. And we're going to copy this again, and this is going to be the third slide. Okay, so we'll do third slide, copy that, save that. We're good to go there. Now what we're going to do is Did I close this div? Let me see if I did. Nope, I did not close the div. So we're going to close the div right here. I don't know why I didn't do that, but that's okay. We figured it out. There we go. All right, so we're going to end the carousel inner here. I'm going to return after that, and we're going to comment out start previous, and then we're going to end previous. So this is for the controller of the slideshow. Okay, so we got that, and now what I'm going to do is we're going to do an anchor, if I do it the right way. Anchor with a class of carousel dash control dash prev href id carousel example indicators. Role is a button, so it's equal to a button. The data slide equals previous, so prev. And then we're going to do a span with a class of carousel dash control dash previous dash icon. Okay, and then we're going to do aria dash hidden equals true, and we're going to do we're going to close the span there. Okay, then we'll go one more row, and we're going to do another span with a class of sr-only. We're going to type in previous and close the span tag. And then we'll close our anchor tag here, and we're going to copy this, and we're going to paste it below, and we're going to start next instead of previous, because we just did next, or previous I should say. I'm going to copy this and paste it everywhere where I see previous. So like here, we're going to type in next, and I'm going to do that here and here. So if you hold Control and double click and paste that in, now when we open this in the browser, which I'm just going to go here and reload, it should be working. And it is. So in the next video, what we're going to do is we're going to finish the home page here. Okay, so thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. All right, welcome back. So in this video, we're going to build out the footer and the main content. Okay, so let's go back to our Sublime text file. And after, okay, so let's get this cleaned up just a little bit. So we're going to bring the header up to the end carousel div, okay, and then we're going to return a couple times after that. All right, and we're going to add a container. So we're going to comment this out first, and we're going to say start container. Okay, and we'll end that comment, and we'll do the same here. We're going to do end container, and we're going to do turn a couple times. Start right there. We're going to do div class container. Okay, we'll close that, and let's return, and we're going to return a couple more times. I'm going to go to line 141. I'm going to do an h1 tag with a class of my-4. We're going to type in welcome to our Bootstrap business, and we're going to close that h1. And then we're going to do, let's comment this out. Whoop, I didn't want to do that. We're going to do marketing icons section. Okay, and we're going to end that. End marketing icons section. Okay, and so let's return there, and I'm going to put start here. Okay, and we'll return a couple more times. We'll go up to line 145, and I'm going to do a div with a class of row. We're going to close that row, and we're going to do div class column large dash 4 MB dash 4. Okay, we'll close that. And we're going to do div class card H-100. Okay, and let's do an H4 inside of there with a class of card-head card title. Okay, and we'll do H4, and then we'll do div class, let me scroll down here, card-body. Okay, we're going to close that with the div. We'll return, and we're going to put a paragraph tag in here with a class, and we're going to do card text, and then we'll just type in some text. So we'll just do, this is my paragraph tag with some text, period. Okay, and then we'll close that div there. We'll go below that div, and we're going to do div class card-footer. Close that div. Inside of there, we're going to put an anchor with an href of hashtag for blank class button, or BTN, BTN-primary, and then we're going to learn more. And then we're going to close that with an anchor tag. Now, I want you to go to your browser, and I'm going to refresh. So now you can see, welcome to our Bootstrap business. Card title, this paragraph is some text, learn more. Okay, so now I'm going to explain to you what we did. If we go, and if you're looking at this, this is a row. Okay, so Bootstrap is a grid system. It has 12 columns. So you can, so what we did was, in here, we gave it a column of 4. So we're going to copy this, and I'm going to show you how this exactly works. Okay, so let's copy this, return a couple times, and we're going to return a couple more times and copy it 3 more times, 1 more time. Okay, just so you can see what it's doing. All right, so we save that. I'm going to go back, and I'm going to refresh my page, and now you can see that it's got 3 columns here filled. So this is 4, this is 4, this is 4. So anything equal to 12 will show up on this row. If it's over 12, if it's like 16, which is what this is, it will push it down to the next row. So now it's down here. So if we go back in and I edit this and I make the first one 12, okay, and I go back to my browser and I refresh, this takes up the whole row. Okay, now I don't want that. I want to have 3 of them on there. That way, it's just the design of the site. But so let's go back in there again. I'm going to refresh this. Okay, so now it comes back. So that's the row system, the grid system, in a nutshell. Is you're basically creating columns. You're giving that column a characteristic or a property of 4. You can do up to 12. So you can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10, or 11 or 12. And depending on the characteristic that you give it or the property, that's what's going to dictate the look and feel of the page. Okay? So let's go back in here, and I'm going to delete the last column that we added. So that one right there. Okay? And I'm going to bring this up. Okay, and that's the end of the container. So let's bring that up a little bit. Let's bring this up, and we'll leave it right there. That way we know, say, hey, this is the row. Okay, so we'll bring it like that. And like I said, I like to leave these separate so that you can see what we created. What was the column that we added to the row? Okay, so now you can see it. This is our row right here. The div starts the row, and then you put the columns in there. Okay? So that's all we got for that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add the one more element to this, and then we're going to create the footer. Okay? So we're going to do a call to action section. So we're going to go here, and I'm going to comment this out. Start call to action. Okay? And then I'm going to end that call to action. Okay, so now we're going to do a div with a row again, with a class of row, and we're going to do MB-4. Okay, and inside of there we're going to do a column, so we're going to do div class column dash MD dash 8. Okay, and we're going to do a paragraph tag with this is my paragraph. Tag with some text. Please keep reading here so that I can fill up this section with content. Something to that degree. Okay? Now, so this div right here is for this column. So we want to add one more column in here. So we're going to do div class column MD-4. We'll close that, and we're going to do anchor. So we're going to do an anchor tag with a class of button or BTN, BTN dash large dash button dash secondary. Okay, button dash block. I can't spell block. Okay, there we go. And then we're going to do href hashtag. Type in call to action, and we're going to do anchor. Now, we got that, so let's go back to our main page here. We're going to refresh, and now you can see this is a paragraph with some text, call to action. So now we have a call to action. Okay. Now the last thing I want to do is I want to create a footer. So we're going to go into below the call to action, and we're going to create a footer. So we're going to go outside of the container as well. So I want to bring all these up and kiss them against each other. We're going to hit end, turn twice, and we're going to comment out footer. And we're going to do footer class py-5 background or bg-dark. Okay, close that, and we're going to do a container. So div class container, close that, and we're going to do a p tag with a class of m-0, text center, text white. So the interesting thing about Bootstrap is basically all that this is somebody went in and wrote styles for all of this. So when you call a certain style, when you call this class of m-0, all you're doing is you're calling the class and the property that they set for it. Same with text-center, text-white. They've already programmed all this ahead of time, so all you have to do is call a class. That's what is the great thing about it, but it's also important to understand that that's why it's better to understand CSS a little bit and HTML so that when you get into this, you're not reliant on just their classes, but you also know how to make your own. That's very important. So we finished this. So I typed in copyright and copy apostrophe, not apostrophe, colon, not even a colon, Bootstrap 2018. Okay, I'm going to go back to the browser. I'm going to refresh. And now you see we have a footer. Okay, so what I want to do before we go to the next video is I want to space out this a little bit more because it's a little crunched together. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into Sublime, and at the top here we have this right here, welcome to our Bootstrap business. So the first thing I want to do is I want to push the container down just a hair. And there's a couple ways you can do that. We could do that with CSS, or we can just code it. I'd rather code it because it'll just make it easier. So let's do BR. And so what that stands for is break. And what a break is think of it as if you're working on Microsoft Word, you hit return. That's what it's doing. It's creating space. So it'll push it down, okay? Now I want to do the same thing here. I want to give it one break, and then one break here, and then two breaks there. And if it's too much, we'll adjust it, okay? So we're going to do one break here, okay? And let's see how that looks. I think that looks good, because it's not too much, because you don't want to like push it so much where you can't even see it. Okay, and then here we're going to do another one. So I'll save that. I'll go back into my browser. I'll refresh up here. And now you see that it's evenly spaced. And we'll do one more break below the footer. Actually above the footer. Okay, so we'll do a break here. I'll save that. We'll go back in here. And we'll refresh. And there you go. So now we have even space, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same at the top. We're only going to do one because I think that it makes it look cleaner than if you space it out too much. There you go. So now we have a clean looking home page. Now in the next video what we're going to do is we're going to combine all this that we built, and we're going to build a navigation again, a footer again, and we're going to build all this and take some of the elements out for the services page. Alright, so in the next video we'll build the services page. I'll see you there. Alright, welcome back. So in this video we're going to build out the services page. Alright, so let's go into our Sublime Text project. And as you see here, I still have the index.html open. Okay, and I see one thing here that I want to change before we go over to the other one. And we're going to type in Bootstrap, and we're going to do Shift and the pipe key. I'm going to type in Home. I'm going to Control S to save that. Now we're going to Control A to copy this, Control C, and Control N to open a new file. Control S, and we're going to type in services.html. Okay. Now I'm going to paste this in. We're going to save it. I'm going to scroll to the top. And what I want to do is I want to change this to services. Okay, now I want to preview this in my browser. So I'm going to click that. Let's click on services. And so now you see that we have the same exact content on the services.html page and the home.html, or index.html, which is home. So in this, what I want to do is I want to delete all this, but we're going to keep the footer. So let's go into Sublime, and we're going to leave Start Navigation alone, and where it says Start Header, we're going to grab that and scroll all the way down till we get to the footer. Okay, and right there I want you to hit delete. Okay, Control S, I want you to go back in the browser so you can look at what we did. I'm going to refresh, and now you can see that the footer and the nav are kissing each other, because what it did was when we deleted all the elements, it pushed everything up. No problem. So what we're going to do now is we're going to build out the services page. So what I want to do is I'm going to grab my resource here. Hold on one second. Let's do that. And we're going to build out this. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to grab nothing. We're going to create a container again. So let's create a container. So let's go return there, and we're going to do start container. Okay, and we're going to do div class container. We're going to close the container, and then below it I'm going to type in end container. Okay, and now what I want to do is I want to return one so we have space in between the footer and the container. I'm going to tab in, and I'm going to look here, and let me just see what. Okay, so we're going to inside the container. I'm going to tab in once, and I want you to return a couple times, and we're going to do breadcrumb. Start breadcrumb. Okay, and then we're going to end breadcrumb. Breadcrumb. Okay, and let's see here. Return. Okay, and then we're going to do h1 class mt-4 mb-3, and let's do services. Okay, and then we're going to return, and we're going to do small subheading. Okay, and then we'll close that with an h1. Okay, let's save that. Let's go into our browser and preview it and see how it looks. Very nice. Okay, so let's go back into our project, and we're going to, now that we have the not the breadcrumb, but we have the title, we're going to add the breadcrumb. So we're going to do an ordered list with a class of breadcrumb. And I know you're wondering what a breadcrumb is, and I'm going to show you. Okay, so we're going to do an li with a class of breadcrumb dash item, and let's close that li, and we're going to put an anchor tag inside, and we're going to do href index.html. Type in home and close that. Okay, so we got the li done, and now we're going to go below the li, create another li with a class of breadcrumb item dash, not dash, space active, and we'll do services. Close that, and let's go and preview that and see how that looks. So I'm going to refresh, and now you see what a breadcrumb is. So basically what it is it will give you a way back to the home page. Okay, so if you click this, it takes you back. Now, it's better to use this for if you're doing like a photo gallery, or you have like, you want to have a sub navigation. That's what this is. So if we were in services and we clicked on something else and you wanted to show that, you could. You know, it's a valuable tool to use. So let's go back to our project, and what we're going to do is we're going to create a, so now that we have the breadcrumb done, I'm going to bring this up, and I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to paste this actually where the breadcrumb starts. Okay, and here what we're going to do is do page title. Okay, and we're just going to do one because I'm going to delete the subheading, and I'm going to take it all the way up there, and I'm going to hit delete again until I get to H1 right here, because we don't really need the subheading. So let's look at that real quick. There you go. So we got services, and then we have our breadcrumb. Okay, so let's go back in there, and now what we're going to do is we're going to create a price table. So we're going to create a row. So what I want to do, I'm going to return twice, start price table. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to create a row. So div class row, and let's close the row, and we're going to add a column. So div class column large dash 4 space mb dash 4. Okay, now a lot of these you'll realize that we've used these before, and that's good. Now we're going to do a div class with card h-100. Okay, and inside of there, let's do an h3 with a class of card header, and we're going to type in basic, close the h3. Okay, and then return. Let's see. Okay, yep, return, and we're going to do div class card body. Okay, close that, return, and we're going to do div class display -4. Okay, and we're going to do 1999 with a div. Okay, and we're going to do another div below it, div class font italic, and we're going to do per month, and we're going to close that div. And then let me scroll down a little bit so you can see what I'm doing here. And we're going to close that, so that div is going to be right here in the card body. And then below that, we're going to do a UL. So we're going to do UL class list-group, list-group-flush. Okay, close that UL. And we're going to do an LI. So LI class list group item. This is text 1. Close that. And then we're going to copy that. And we're going to paste it 3 more times. Actually 2 more times. And I'm just going to change the number. So I'm going to click right here, delete that, do 2, hit down, and then do 3. Okay, so you have 3 items there. Let's paste it 1 more time. And with this one, we're going to add an anchor tag inside. So instead of having the text here, we're going to add it to anchor tag. So let's return, and we're going to do anchor href hashtag class button primary, and we'll do sign up. Okay, and we'll close the anchor tag. Now let's go to our browser and take a look at this. And as we refresh, there you go. So we have basic, $19.99 per month. This is text, this is text, this is text, sign up. Beautiful. So that's what we want to do again and again and again. We're going to do that 2 more times. So what I want to do is I'm going to grab everything that we've created in here, from here to here. Okay, so we don't want to grab the row, but we want to grab everything else. And I'm going to return there and return here so we know where the row ends. Okay, I'll return, paste that, we'll return again. Let me scroll down so you can keep up with me here. I'll paste that in. Now let's go back to the page, refresh, and now we have it across the board. And what we're going to do is I want to change a couple things around. So let's go in here, and what I'm going to do is, you can see here in the basic plan, we're going to call this the plus. Okay, and we're going to give it a price of $39.99 instead of $19.99. And I also want to change a couple things. So if you go into div class card H100, we're going to add a couple things to that. So after card, let's hit space, and we're going to do card dash outline dash primary. Save that. Let's refresh our page. And I don't know what that did. Okay. I guess I didn't do what it was supposed to. That's okay. Now we're going to change the last one to $159. And we're going to do ultra. Okay. And the other thing I want to do is I want to add a couple breaks here so we can push the footer down. So we're going to add, let's do 4 breaks. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to paste it. And let's refresh our page. It still didn't push it down enough. Okay, let's do a couple more. If we do 8 breaks, that should push us down to the bottom. Okay. Nope. Okay. We'll do 12 breaks. Okay, so I'm going to delete 2 of those. Well, let's just delete 1. We'll save it, go back, refresh. Okay, I'll delete 1 more. Okay, delete that, save it, go back. Beautiful. So now we have our services page, exactly how I want it. Okay, so in the next video we're going to build out the portfolio page. I'll see you there. In this video, we're going to build out the portfolio page. Are you ready? Here we go. So let's hop into Sublime and let's copy all of our text, all of our code, I should say. So let's Control A, Control C, Control N, Control V, Control S, portfolio.html. All right, let's scroll to the top. And what we're going to do is we're going to change the services to portfolio. Okay, and save that. Scroll down to where the container is. Change the page title to portfolio. And the breadcrumb, let's change that to portfolio. We'll save that. Now we're going to keep the row, but let's do start row instead of start price table. Okay, and then let's do end row at the bottom. Okay, we'll save that, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete everything inside the row. So all the columns we're going to delete. Control S. We can delete the breaks. Okay, and what I'm going to do is inside of the row, we're going to type in project 1. Okay, I told you the wrong thing here. Where's my container? Okay, my bad. Container's right there. Okay, good. So what we're going to do is we're going to change this, the start row, to project 1. That was my goof. So let's do project 1. Okay, we can delete this. And let's do project 1 down here, where the row ends. So let's do end project 1, start project 1. Okay, and inside of the row, we're going to type in the following. So we're going to create a column. So div class column md-7, close that, return. We're going to do an anchor with an href of a hashtag. And inside of there, we're going to do an image with a class of img-fluid rounded mb-3 mb-md-0 with a source of http://placehold.it/700 by 300. Okay, and then close the anchor right here. Okay, and outside of the column, let's go and create another class, or another div I should say, with a class of column md-5. And let's close that div, and we're going to type in an h3, call project 1. Save that, and then I'm going to do a paragraph tag, and let's just type this is some text to fill up the paragraph tag so that we have enough content to show on the page to get the look that I want, that I am looking for, period. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to do a anchor with a class of button, so btn, and then we're going to do btn-primary, and we're going to do an href with a hashtag, and we're going to view the project, and we're going to put a span in there. So span class glyph icon, I believe it's called. So GLYPH icon, and then glyph icon dash chevron dash right, and we're going to close that span, and let's do an anchor tag. Okay, we'll close that, and that should be the end of project 1. So let's save that. I'm going to go to the browser. I'm going to open up portfolio. Really, let me just see here. Oh, I didn't spell it right. I typed in portfolio. So let me change that. So let's rename this. So let's do portfolio. Save that. All right, now I'll go back. We'll click on portfolio. And now you can see we have project 1. Okay, beautiful. Now what we're going to do is we're going to grab all that code that we just made, project 1, and we're going to return twice and paste it again, return twice and paste it again. Okay, so now what I want you to do is we're going to do project 2. Okay, so I'm going to copy it there, copy, paste, copy, paste. I think that's it. And then let's do project 3. We're going to find out if that's it. So I'll paste that here. I'll paste it down here. We'll Control S to save. We'll go back in the browser. We'll refresh. And that's exactly what I was looking for. Now, I want to add one more thing, and then this page is done. So in between the projects, I want to put an HR tag. So that's a horizontal line. So HR. Okay. So we'll do that. Now let's go back to the browser just so you can see the first one. And now you see it makes a line in between, so it creates space, separation. So it separates the elements. So we're going to do that for the other two in between 2 and 3. I'll save that. Let's go back. Beautiful. Now I want to do the same at the bottom, but we don't need to put an HR there. We can put a break. So we're going to put a break here. So let's do one break and see how that looks. And if we need to add, we can. I'm going to refresh. Let's do one more break. Save it. Go back. Refresh. And there you go. So this is the portfolio page. Clean, simple, easy to use. So in the next video, we're going to build out the About page. I'll see you there. Welcome back. In this video, we're going to build the About page. So let's go into Sublime, and we're going to Control A, Control C, Control N. So Control A selects all, Control C copies, and Control N will create a new file. Control V will paste in what we copied. Control S will prompt us to name the file. So we're going to type in about.html. Okay, and what we're going to do is go to the top of the page, change portfolio to about, and let's copy that. Control C, Control S to save. And wherever you see portfolio, let's paste in about. Okay, we'll save that. Let's go to the browser real quick and take a look. I'm going to click on About, and it has exactly the same stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to put an image here and then some text, and that's all we're going to have on the About page. Okay? Okay, so that's the wrong one. Let me see here. Okay, so let's go into our About page, and what we're going to do is we edited the breadcrumb, so we're good there. Now we're going to create a row, which we have. So let's delete everything inside the row, and we'll keep this, and we'll just start row. Okay, and then we're going to end row. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is we're going to delete everything below it. So the HR, all this can be deleted. The container we need to keep. Okay, so that will delete. And the break between the container and the footer, that's fine for right now. We can keep that in there. Okay, so let's go inside the row. And what I'm going to do is we're going to do a div with a class of column large dash 6. Close that div. And inside of there, we're going to put an image. So let's do image class, image dash fluid, rounded, MB dash 4 with a source of HTTP place hold dot it slash 750 by 450. Okay, and let's return that and create another div with a class of column large dash 6. Okay, and we're going to close this. We'll go inside of there and we're going to type in H2. Okay, close that, and we'll do about Bootstrap business. Save that, and then after the H2, we're going to do a whole bunch of paragraphs. So let's do a p tag, and let's go into the portfolio.html, and we'll just grab our p tag that we created in there, and we'll just paste that in here. So I'm going to select that and paste over it, and I'm going to hit return and do the same, and then do it again. And let's see, we got 1, 2, 3. That should be enough. Let's go into our page and preview this. There you go. So that's what I was looking for. So I'm going to add a couple more paragraphs to it. So we'll copy that. I'll paste it in 2 more times. Save it, go back. Beautiful. That's exactly what I was looking for. So what we can do to push down the footer, instead of doing a break, what we can do is we can create another row. So let's do div class row. We'll close the row, and we'll do div class column large 12 dash 12. Okay, close that div, and I'll grab all this paragraph text, paste it in here, save it, go back to the browser, refresh, and there you go. Now the footer, we'll add one more paragraph. So let's highlight that, we'll return, paste it in, Control S to save. We'll go here, we'll refresh, and there you go. Now the footer is pushed down to the bottom of the page because the content is what controls the layout. So the more content you have, the more it's going to push down. Okay? So that's it for the About page. In the next video, we're going to build out the Contact page. I'll see you there. All right, welcome back. So in this video, we're going to build out the Contact page. So let's go into Sublime. We're going to hit Control A to copy all, or to select all, sorry. Control C to copy. And we're going to hit Control N to open up a new file. Control S to save that file, contact.html. And we're going to paste this in with Control V. Okay, and then Control S to save. Go to the top of the page. We're going to change the title to Contact. Okay, I'm going to copy this, Control C. I'm going to go past the navigation. We're going to go to Page Title, paste in Contact, and in the breadcrumb, we're going to paste in Contact where it says About. Okay, now I'm going to open this in the browser. I'm going to click on Contact. There you go. So now we have Contact here, Contact there. All this right here we're going to delete. So let's go into our delete the row, all that. The container, let's see. The container we need to keep, but everything else we're going to delete. Okay? So we're going to keep the container, the page title, and the breadcrumb. Okay? So now what we're going to do is we're going to build out our form. So what I want you to do is we're going to do a row. So let's do start. Let's do contact form. Okay. And what we're going to do is let's do a div with a class of row. And we're going to do div class column large dash 8. And we're going to do MB dash 4. We're going to close that. And inside of there, we're going to put h3, send us a message. Okay? Now below that, we're going to type in form, and we're going to put the form tag in there with a name equal to sent message. Okay, and we're going to have an ID of contact form, and then no validate. Oh, we got to stay inside of there. No validate. Okay. Now after that, we need to close the form. Okay, we're going to return, and inside of there, we're going to create a div with a class of control group and then form group. Okay, now let's close that div, and inside of there, we're going to create another div and call that with a class of controls. Okay, let's close that one, and then we're going to do label. So we'll do label full name colon, and then close the label tag. And below that, we're going to do an input type. So we'll do input type equals text, class form control. Okay, and then we're going to do an ID with name, and we're going to do required data dash validation, required message equals please enter your name. Okay, so we're good there, and then let's do a paragraph with a class of help block. And so what this is going to do is when you send the form, if you don't fill it out, it's going to pop up this message, please enter your name. That's what we're building right now. So let's go down to this div right here. We're going to hit return, and we're going to grab everything that we just created right here. So from the control message down, okay, so from right here down, we're going to copy that, control C, return twice, we'll paste that in, and instead of doing full name, we're going to do phone number. Okay, and then where it says required data validation required message, please enter your phone number. Okay, and then we'll do the same below this. Again, we're going to copy it, return twice, paste it with control V, and we're going to save it. And instead of doing phone number, we'll do email address. Okay, and then please enter your email address. Okay, and then we're going to do message. So this one is going to be completely different, so we're not going to copy and paste this time. We'll just return twice, and we're going to do div class control dash group form dash group, close that div, and we're going to do div class controls, close it, and then inside of there we're going to do the label message colon label, and below that we're going to do input type let's see, no, we're not going to do input, sorry, we're going to do text area, and inside of there we're going to do rows 10 columns, so COLS is 100. We're going to do a class of form control, we'll do ID message, and then we'll do, I'll copy required data validation, that part we can copy. Let me grab all of it. So let's go from here down to there. So we'll paste that in after ID equals message. Please enter your message instead of email address. Okay, and then we're going to do max length 999, and we'll do style, resize, none, and that is it for that. Now we need to add a couple more things and then we're completely done with this. So once we get out of the control group div, which is right there, what we're going to do is we're going to create a success div. So let's do a div with an ID of success, and then close that, and then right below that do button type equals submit with a class of button primary, okay, with an ID of send message button, and then we're going to type in send message, and we're going to close that with a button tag. Control S to save, and now let's go back to our browser and take a look at our contact page. So I'm going to click on the link again, and there you go. So that looks really nice. It's evenly spaced, it looks really nice, and so in the next video what we're going to do is we're going to spend the entire next video and we're going to style the entire website. So you can see how much easier it is to build a website in Bootstrap compared to hand coding everything in HTML and CSS. This basically gives you a starting point where you can start editing and add stuff and move stuff around, and it's a great tool to use. Alright, so I'll see you in the next video where we're going to style the entire web page. I'll see you there. Alright, welcome back. So in this video what we're going to do is we're going to style the website. So we just built the contact page, and if you go through each page you can see it's styled. Like it looks clean, it's nice. We're just going to make a couple tweaks here and there and then we're done. Okay? So let me go into the Sublime Text project. Okay? Now if we scroll up at the top, we're in contact right now. You can see right here we did custom CSS. So all we need open is custom CSS. So let's close index, services, portfolio, about, contact, and just go to custom.css. So these are global styles. And so I'm going to label this global styles. Okay, so let's do start global styles and then end. That way we have them separated. Okay, and we'll do end, not empty cells, end. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go into our browser, Google Chrome. I'm going to right click, I'm going to inspect, I'm going to click on the top area here. We're going to click on nav class equals navbar fixed top navbar expand. We're going to click on the little plus sign here, the new style rule, and I'm going to type in background blue. Now that didn't do anything because we didn't grab the correct element, so that's okay. So we're going to grab the container and let's see if that does it. It does, but you see what it did is it grabbed everything. So it grabbed all the containers that we have because we have 3 containers. So we don't want to do that. So let's hit refresh. Alright, so we're going to go in here again. We're going to go up here. We're going to select that and let's do, you see right here where it says dot background or BG dash dark, that's what we need to change. And see, that's already in here. They've already hardwired it into the code. So we're going to copy that. Copy. Let's go into Sublime. I'm going to paste it right here. And let's do navigation background color. Okay, so we know what it is. Beautiful. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this from this color and we're going to type in navy because I want it to be navy. So let's go back to the browser, let's right click, and now it's navy. Okay, beautiful. And you also see, because they added a class down here with the class of BG dark, whenever you change the top, it changes the bottom. Okay? If you didn't want to do that, then you would just do, you would delete that, which this is just, you'd delete it and then it wouldn't show up. So let's refresh, and there it is. Okay. Now, one more thing I want to do is I want to update this. So when we hover, it turns into this color. When it's not hovered, when it's not selected or hovered over, it can stay that color. So let's inspect. Let's scroll down, and let's click right there, and let's click on HOV and do hover. Now here's where you can change it. So if we click right there, it'll grab the little color dropper. You grab that, and there you go. Now I'm going to copy this into the border color too, and let's grab all of this code, right click and hit copy, go into Sublime, and let's do call to action, button hover state. There you go. Now when we go back and we refresh and we can minimize that, when you hover over it, it's navy blue. Beautiful. Now, same thing I want to do with these. So when you hover over it, I want it to go to navy blue. Okay, so let's inspect, and we're going to go hover again, and we're going to grab this, click on hover, and now we'll show you the code that you need, which is right here. So we're just going to copy this. Copy, go into Sublime, and we'll comment this out first. So button hover state. Okay, we'll paste it down here, and instead of keeping these, we're going to grab this right here, which is the navy blue color that we like, and we're going to paste it in both. I'm going to save that. I'm going to go back. I'm going to minimize this. We're going to refresh the page, and when we hover, it should be navy blue. There it is. So you see how simple it is to really just do quick styling of the page. It really helps when you already have the layout built out. It's a very smooth process. Okay, so when you do it here, you see that it already did it. So it's changing it on every page. There we go. And now let's look at about. There's nothing there to click on, but on the contact page, it changes the color again. So that's it. So that's how you build a project in Bootstrap.